Hi everyone, welcome once again to our STEM Women Hangout on Air. Today we're speaking with Associate Professor of Chemistry at the University of Sri Jayawardenapura in Sri Lanka. So we're speaking with Professor Siromi Samarasinghe. How are you, Siromi?
I'm fine, Zuleyka. How are you?
Good, thanks. So let's kick things off. Could you tell us a little bit about your academic role within your university?
Yes, actually I'm involved in 3 areas in the university as in my academic role, in teaching, research and administration. So I was head of department for 5 years till last year. So as a former head of department, and in my present position as an associate professor in chemistry, teaching, research and administration are the main things that I'm involved in. We organize workshops, symposia, seminars to update our curriculum, and I support those activities. Then we update our programs, study programs, and so on. Also, as part of my academic duties as head of department, I get involved with the running of the department, the non-academic as well as the academic part, and make sure that everything, the laboratory work, the practicals, they're all done on time, and get involved in examination work. Then I sit on committees, we have study boards for postgraduate students, study board in life sciences, then in physical sciences, because chemistry is a subject that involves both life sciences as well as physical sciences. So in that respect, and also we are, our faculty is the Faculty of Applied Sciences. So our chemistry programs are geared towards applied areas like polymer science and technology and food chemistry. We have links with the industry, therefore, and I sort of try to establish to maintain those links with the industry, because I think the university industry partnership is very important. Academics tend to keep to themselves, and the industry, they don't understand academics, so we are trying to bridge that gap, and that way to benefit the students and our programs. So my work has been involving those areas. And again, with students, we try to advise them and somehow make their degree programs very fruitful, and that they benefit from our programs. So it involves advising and mentoring the students to some degree. Yes. So that is my role in the department and the faculty and the university also. Yes.
Okay.
So how do you, sorry, Rajini, you go.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to, hi Siromi, it's great to see you again. You are in so many ways a role model and a pioneer.
Yes.
In what you do. We come from similar cultural backgrounds, so
yes.
Many years ago, when women were getting arranged marriage to being a housewife in essence, you did something very different, and you went very far from home. You went to the UK, and you got a degree in a PhD in chemistry at the University of Leeds.
Yes.
So can you out how this came about, and what led you to tell us something about the kinds of challenges you faced?
Yes. after I did my BSc degree, I got a first class, and then I wanted to continue my studies, and I joined the department as an assistant lecturer. Thereafter, I had to do postgraduate. I had to do a postgraduate degree to get confirmed in my post. Then my department got me a scholarship. Actually, the British Council gave me a scholarship to go and study to do a master's degree. And I decided to take it on. I was very interested to continue my career in science, and I decided to go abroad and continue my studies, because at that time Sri Lanka didn't have study programs like that, and to do a PhD would mean that it takes a very long time, and we didn't because we didn't have the proper facilities to do it within 3 years like we do here in the UK. So I spoke to my mother. My father was had passed away, and only my mother, and she was very supportive. So people were, of course, advising her, telling her, if you send your daughter now, she's already now. I was like 25 or 26 at that time, and considered old, that I should get too old, too old that I should get married. Otherwise, I wouldn't find a suitable partner. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead with my studies, and I left to do a master's. So everybody thought, oh, it's only for 1 year, she'll be back. But then my university said I should do a PhD to get confirmed. So once I went there, I spoke to my professor and arranged, they offered me a scholarship from Leeds University after doing the master's. And I stayed on for another 3 years. So I was very keen to do that, and I didn't mind, the people saying, no, she's not married and that kind of thing. I thought, okay, let me first finish my studies and then see what happens. That's how I got to leave the country. Yeah.
That's a wonderful story. So, what were some of the cultural challenges you faced? What was it like for you to be in a place that was so different from your home country?
Yes, it was quite different at the time, because language I was very familiar, because I knew English, and I knew I could study in English. Food again was not a problem. Weather was going to be a problem. Yes, I knew that. And the lifestyle. So those were the issues I knew when I went there. But gradually I adapted myself to the English way of living. But of course there were other Sri Lankans. However, I was the only female student in a STEM subject. I did food chemistry, and I was the only one who was doing a PhD at that time. Even the master's program, we didn't have any Sri Lankans following. So that way I was a bit isolated, I could say. And I lived in a hall of residence. Then again, things were different, very well organized, and everything was like done on time. And I found that, unlike in Sri Lanka, where there are many disruptions within the university, you don't know when the university is going to be closed. One day you find there's some political issues or some kind of disruption taking place, and but there was nothing like that in the UK. Everything went on smoothly, and I got used to their way of life, everything. a gradual process. So, but although I thought I knew the language, I had some problems because of the way they speak, the accent I couldn't follow. Yeah. One lecturer in particular, I mean, I tried to write down, but I write the wrong thing. So then I went to the library and referred up, and gradually I got used to his way of talking, and things got okay after that. Yeah, the accent was hard to follow.
So, Siromi, your research relates to the chemistry of tea.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you actually got started on this line of research?
Yes. So when I finished my master's, like I said, I wanted to, I spoke to my professor, and he said I could continue for a PhD if I get a grant. Of course, that was important. I could finance the program. Then there was this lecturer who was interested in what you call Brownian reactions in food. That is how, say for example, a potato or an apple, you cut it and keep it exposed to air, it turns brown. That is a Brownian reaction. And also there are other types of these Brownian reactions. This person was an expert in this, and he said, so you come from the country where tea is produced, and that tea manufacturing process is also one of those, it involves one of these Brownian reactions. He said he's very interested in that, and because it's relevant to my country and because it is relevant to the subject that I studied, subject area in food chemistry, we selected that project to investigate the reactions that take place during tea manufacture. One particular area that work has not been done very much. We selected that particular reaction area, yes.
Did you continue to work on that topic when you returned to Sri Lanka?
I was hoping to, and I was invited to a seminar at the Tea Research Institute to discuss my work the time I got back. And I would have really liked to continue my work in the tea research institute. But then I was already employed in the university. And that didn't happen. And in the university, research didn't get along. I couldn't continue it that well because of the other duties, teaching and getting in the way, and grants, things like that, yes. So, no, I didn't continue it that much, but I had some students working, like small student projects, yes.
Is your research that you do now related somehow to your chemistry of tea?
What I'm doing now?
Is there a relationship?
Not that much, no. I didn't work that much on my research.
Okay.
So, knowing the difficulties that you had when you were an international student,
yes.
Can you think of ways in which Western countries, say, could make it easier for students from home? What sorts of support would you have appreciated at the time?
Yes, most students, when they go there, they have this cultural shock.
Right.
The culture is so different, especially going from an Asian country. So I think the supervisors and PIs should be aware of that. Also, they miss their homes, they become homesick, and accommodation problems. If they are required to work late into the night, they will have problems, getting home in the night. Especially female students don't like to do that. And like everything is new to them. There can be communication problems. It's not only my experience, I'm talking of what my students have told me.
Right.
They had, some of my students had these communication problems with their PIs and supervisors because of the culture. They don't speak out or what they have in their mind, and also they don't go to argue with their superiors, their PIs. They don't, if they don't agree with them, they don't come out with the reasons. They don't discuss the problem properly, and that leads to well, problems like the PI doesn't know what's going on with the student, and the student feels some kind of resentment. That way, I think that communication gap should be narrowed, and they should understand each other, that this is part of the culture. That is why they are not speaking out. So that is also something that has to be considered.
And yes, Siromi,
Yes.
so have a lot of experience mentoring students.
Yes.
Can you share with that you've learned along the way, and do you have a different style, different types of students, or perhaps females?
Yes. Now when they come to the university, they come straight from school, and most of the female students, they go to all girls schools, and they are not familiar, like there is no co-education, and boys are also like that. So when they come to the university and study together, it's a different environment for them. Also, they have a lot of freedom in the university, and they don't have any direction with their studies, in the sense everything is done for them, and the way is shown to them in the schools, whereas in the university they are alone. They have to find their feet, so to say. They are being, if I can put it this way, they are being taught in the schools, whereas in the university it's a learning process. They have to do it themselves. So they don't know their goals. They don't know where they are going. They just follow. So one way is to, like when mentoring, is to make them identify their goals and see that they achieved. That way we do that by helping them to select subject combinations. If they are studying chemistry, what are the other subjects they have to study? They have to offer 3 subjects for the degree. So they don't know how to select the subjects. So we help them that way. If they are in the physical science stream or biological sciences stream, we help them to pick the subjects and then follow through. If it is different for males and females, yes, because males, they get involved in politics mostly. You know, within the university there are various different political groups, and that is a major distraction for some of them. Then there are financial issues. Some students do jobs while they are following their education, and then they miss out lectures and practical classes. So we advise them, if they have a problem, to discuss with us and somehow do the practicals. Practical classes are very important, the lab class. But it doesn't matter lectures if they want to leave out, but we insist on an 80%, minimum 80% attendance. Within that, if they have some problems, we discuss and try to sort out, help them financially, like where they can get advice, and if they want to apply for loans, student loans, we help them that way. Yeah. Female students, the problems they have is mostly with their boyfriends. Sometimes the parents want them to get married. If they are going to a university, they think there'll be problems in the university. So therefore, they try to arrange marriages even before coming to the university. And then when they find somebody they like in the university, there's going to be problems. So some are already married. Those problems really affect the female students.
Right.
Yeah. The studies and family, always there is a conflict in most people. Yes.
Do you think that the university could maybe help out with that as well, maybe by making more family-friendly policies to help women stay on and study?
Sorry, Zuleyka, could you repeat that question?
So I was just wondering whether you think that perhaps the universities might be able to help women stay on in university by maybe making more family-friendly policies to help women continue to study.
Yes, I think the universities could help that way, but it is mostly the culture. It's the country's traditions and cultures, so it's the parents mostly that are involved. The university can't do really much about it. Financial issues, of course, the university can do with bursaries and so on.
Right. It's a different world, isn't it? So many challenges that these young people face. It's great to hear, directly from you.
Siromi, I wanted to also ask you about something you said at the beginning, which you were talking about your role working with industry.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, given your extensive experience, can you give us some tips that academics can use when they're dealing with industry?
Yes. When academics deal with industry, they are dealing with real practical solutions, practical situations. So although they think they know the theory behind this, what takes place in industry, it is not always applicable. So they have to adjust. They have to look at what is really happening there and apply that knowledge. They have to modify that theory and look at practical situations.
Right.
Not only that, the whole setup, what else is involved in there, the supply, the marketing problems, and how to, the whole process has to be reviewed, not only the theory part, what the academics do, how it applies. The application is also very important, and the academics have to realize that. Yeah.
Thank you. Rajini, did you have any other questions for Siromi?
No. I just, Siromi, is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Just that, a scientific career, any woman or any woman should be able to pursue a scientific career if she is interested, and not think that just because that person should start a family or just because she is a woman that she can't do the STEM career, because it's a case of balancing family with work, and if that is done properly, it will be a success. So,
Well, you clearly did a wonderful job balancing, and we all know your daughter very well, Rajini. For any of our viewers who may not have figured this out by now, Siromi's daughter is also has a PhD, and she's a cancer biologist in the UK, and very active in STEM women. And so she is probably watching us right now. So yes, you clearly did had a wonderful balance between work and family and your life, and it's something that I think we all try to achieve, you know, to bring that sort of balance between home and work.
Yes.
Especially in science, because science is STEM is so much a part of our lives. You know, it's not something that you can just work 9 to 5 and leave. You know, it follows you everywhere. So you have to get used to making it an integral part of your life. So.
Right. Yes.
And I think for anybody who's on Google+, you'll probably be familiar with Siromi's posts. So we'll have a link. We've got a link to Siromi's Google+ profile on our event page, but we'll link to it in our blog, because another thing that I really love about what you do is that you show that balance between science and your other interests. I mean, your posts are really lovely, and you know, we get a sense of your full interest, and that's something that we're really trying to, you know, get people to understand, is that scientists have very broad interests that feed into what they do with their research.
Thank you.
So thank you for your time, Siromi. It's been lovely speaking with you. I wanted to just let our viewers know that in about a week and a half we'll have a special STEM Women event. We're doing a special on women in science to commemorate Ada Lovelace Day. And we'll be speaking with editors from Nature Magazine and Scientific American, as well as people from Macmillan Publishing and Digital Science. So we'll follow us on Twitter and on our Google+ to get updates. And then until then, I hope that you all have a really lovely week, and thank you both for being a part of our Hangout.
Thank you, Zuleyka.
Bye.
Thank you, Rajini. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you.